What's up, everybody? Joe White here, rolling through the back roads of Tennessee today. Over here on US Highway 70, going into Memphis. Going to be going around Memphis, actually. A lot of people on the channel. I got a couple of emails, actually. Um, and you can email me. I think my email link is there, but you can also drop me a message on Twitter and Facebook. Um, I got a couple of emails and a couple of messages when it comes to the whole Nightbird thing about Jody Gilley, who was apparently a prominent member of the Bray Wyatt community. She was um, a fan of Bray Wyatt, and the reason why I haven't said anything about her passing is because I didn't know the girl. Um, I didn't even know that this Abby's window thing even existed. So I can't speak about something that I really don't know about. Um, and, with that being said, I'll say rest in peace. It's hard when you have to leave family behind. I believe she leaves a daughter or, kids. She has a husband and kids that she's left behind. Um, Apparently, this happened very suddenly, and there was a source code in the source code of the Uncle Howdy QR thing on Friday. There was JG and then a heart emoji symbol. So paying direct homage to her and calling her out in the source code. She was, very prominent in the community apparently, and I wish her family all the best. But I haven't commented because I have really nothing to comment on. I didn't know the woman. Um, I did not know what the Abby's abode or Abby's window thing was all about. And I'm not going to sit here and cry and whine over something that I don't know nothing about. I mean, like I said, may she rest in peace. But anyway, moving on. Um, I want to talk a bit about what happens once this whole thing cracks off, whether it be at Saudi Arabia. Some reports even saying that they're really going to start ramping it up this week, that we may get another Twitch stream from what I've been seeing, or maybe even like a YouTube live thing. Um, I don't know for sure. Those are just rumors. But I can say that if you go back to White Rabbit, they started really ramping things up with the Let Me In with the Three Little Pigs. And they really, really started ramping it up that last week to the point where they even had, um, up to that point, up until the Friday before Extreme Rules, um, they hadn't been playing the QR code stuff in the arena. They were just playing the Jefferson Airplane song, White Rabbit. And the night before, they had remember, it was the White Rabbit cartoon where he's running through the forest. He sees a purple X on the ground, and he buries himself in that X, and fire shoots up out the hole that he's dug, and then it says tomorrow night, and then it proceeds to say feed your head in several different languages. Um, and of course the crowd popped for it because they knew the White Rabbit. Everybody had been following White Rabbit up to that point. And then of course we had Bray's big return at Extreme Rules the following night. I think we may, if they're going to have Uncle Howdy debut this Saturday, they need to give us something like that. They need to give us an update on this psychiatrist. They need to give us an update on, when we will be seeing Uncle Howdy. If they don't do that, I don't expect him to show up at Saudi Arabia. Um, I would expect him to show up maybe the Monday after. As to which brand they're going to be on, I don't know. I don't know where that's the whole problem with the supernatural storyline. And it was a problem with Bray Wyatt too, is that Look at what they did for the first match that when Bray came back. It was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match with LA Knight. And it it almost honestly it a lot of people soured on LA Knight because of that. Um, Now LA Knight went on to have a really big year that year in 2023. Now he's soured again in 2024, floundering around. I really wish they would have had him win King of the Ring this year if he doesn't win he's not winning King of the Ring, but he definitely needs to probably win Money in the Bank if they're ever going to pull the trigger with this guy winning the title. Um, but anyway, it's all about what you do afterwards. They were building up to the Alexa Bliss stuff. They were building up the Uncle Howdy thing. Um, they had continued to do the QR codes after they debuted Bray. One thing that somebody said was, do you think that these guys, the Wyatt Six, are going to show up wearing pig masks and rabbit masks and buzzard masks? The only thing I could say is they better not, because if they have Joe Gacy, who is a larger individual but can work, if they have him show up in a Huskus mask, that's it. Party's over. It's done. Um, the only one that's really allowed to get away with wearing a mask is Uncle Howdy. The other guys like um, Dexter Loomis has such a really brilliant stare, cold, hard stare, crazy stare. Why would you want to cover that up? Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, if Alexa Bliss does join them, are beautiful women. So why would you want to cover their faces up? Um, as far as Joe Gacy goes, Joe Gacy can have that wild, crazy-eyed stare too. Remember what he did in NXT with the Schism. Um, so why would you want to cover that up? Bo Dallas is the only one that I could think of that that has an excuse to wear a mask. Um, but what do you do? There's been a lot of things saying, okay, maybe he's going to attack Cody at the end of this. But the problem with that is that when you do that, when it gets into matches, Bruce Pritchard always says something, and then the bell rang. The bell's got to ring at some point. This is pro wrestling. And this is the problem that everybody had with Bray Wyatt. You have all these crazy ideas, all these QR codes, all the buildup. But that bell's got to ring at some point. You got to get there at some point. That the matches have to be, you have to have matches. This is pro wrestling. So what do you do? I mean, are we really going to have Uncle Howdy versus Cody Rhodes? I've said it all along. I would like to see it because I think it would be nice to have a Cody expand on his character. The only problem is that Cody's not losing that title anytime soon. So if they do have the Uncle Howdy versus Cody Rhodes match, Uncle Howdy has to lose, and therefore you've deflated his whole character. Now, you could also have him, the Usos on the Usos Twitter page. Jey Uso put out, "The Fireflies are mine now," and he put Yeeter of Worlds, Yeeter, Yeeter of Worlds. And you could always have Uncle Howdy pop up and attack Jey Uso and go, "Hey, the Fireflies were ours. We want them back." Um, Again, it all goes back to that damn crowd in France, those stupid European crowds. I'm sorry. That's the worst thing that they ever did, was try to get this thing popping off. And now it's so disrespectful to Bray Wyatt. It really is. That was his thing. And now you're going to have somebody just come in and swoop in and take it from him. To me, it's so disrespectful. But anyway, but that's the law. At least Jey Uso could lose that. But if you have Uncle Howdy go up against Cody Rhodes, Cody's got to win, and that's the big problem with it all. As much as the match would probably be good, the build-up with the supernatural thing, Cody's never been in that kind of. I mean, he did Stardust, who was kind of like a weirdo sci-fi character. But this version of Cody has never really had to play into all that. So it'll be interesting to see that. Also, Cody was featured in one of the White Rabbit promos. And the one where there was the TikTok video, and they were like, "Who killed the world? Feed your head," and it was different WWE superstars. The last one on there, on that thing where it said head, was Cody Rhodes when he had the face shield on, when he was not so dashing Cody Rhodes or whatever. Um, so there's that angle. You could also have him, just come in and attack random people. But my point is, there's got to be some action sooner or later. Now, we know Bo Dallas can work. He's a former NXT champion, for crying out loud. In the early days of NXT, when they first came on the network, he won that title right when they came on the network, I believe. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think. What does this first program do? Does he go after Cody? Maybe he goes after the Judgment Day. Maybe he goes after Damian Priest after Saudi. We don't know. Damian's got to fight Jey Uso, I believe, in Saudi. Does he have a match? Let me look here. Hold on, I can't remember right offhand. No, he doesn't have a match. Okay, so maybe they could do something where he's cutting up, because the Judgment Day really has nothing to do here on this show. You got the winner of the Raw bracket versus, you got the King of the Ring, the Queen of the Ring final, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan, Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed, which Bronson's just there to take the pinfall from Sami, because I don't think Sami's losing that title anytime soon. And then Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. Now it'll be either Jey Uso or Gunther versus Tama Tonga or Randy Orton. My money is on Randy Orton versus Jey Uso in the finals. Or maybe it's Gunther. I picked Gunther to win this thing, either Gunther or Ilya. But I think Gunther needs to win. Again, the King of the Ring should always be there to elevate somebody new, to put somebody on that next level. Jey Uso's already there. Orton's there. It's not Tama Tonga's time. The only way you should elevate Tama Tonga forward is if on Monday night they have Jey Uso beat Gunther. As far as the women go, you got Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria, and they'll face the winner of Nia Jax and Bianca Belair. Again, if you're going to have Lyra win the thing, which again, you should elevate somebody, it's either Lyra or Nia. One of those two. Bianca Belair does not need to win this tournament. She's already a main eventer. But anyway, getting back to the Uncle Howdy thing. Maybe you could have the Judgment Day interfere with that Raw match, or interfere with the King of the Ring matchup. And, after Judgment Day gets done interfering with that, then Uncle Howdy shows up. I don't know. It's very weird. Again, I don't think it's happening in Saudi. If it does, it would surprise the heck out of me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are they going to do? It's one thing to have all this build, but when you got to have some execution. And the execution when Bray returned, let's face it, was kind of bad. Now, it would have been interesting to see where he would have gone after the match with LA Knight, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, which was awful. It was awful, okay? But let me know what you think in the comments below. Where does Uncle Howdy go once he debuts? What did the Wyatt Six do? Or is there even going to, they said, they made reference, this is a faction. Because Uncle Howdy debuting by himself is it's lead balloon time. You need the Wyatt Six. Do we see all the Wyatt Six, or do we just get a Wyatt Five to begin with? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I will see you during Raw. I will try to do a video during Raw. If we get a QR code, then we'll discuss it. We'll break it down as we always do. Go check back on the other breakdowns on the channel, and we'll see you down the road.